friends, I'm Narendra Verma once again before you. As you know very well, in business studies for class 12 CBSE syllabus, we have been dealing with the chapter number 7, that is directing, right? And in today's session, what we are going to learn? Supervision means meaning, definition of supervision and functions of a supervisor. Okay. And motivation, meaning, definition, process and features of motivation. Alright. So without wasting much time, let's start. So friends, have a look here. Supervision. This term has been made up with two words. Okay. One is super and another is vision. Right? Okay. Super means over and above, something high. I'll write down here. Okay. And vision means ability to see what is happening. So by combining these two, what is the meaning of supervision? To oversee the employees at work, right? So it is the function of keeping a watch on the working and performance of the employees in the organization, right? Already in the previous video, I have given you the definition of supervision. One more time, I just write down here, then we'll have discussion on it. Okay. So supervision refers to instructing, guiding and observing these subordinates at work to ensure that they are working as per plans and to help them in solving their problems, right? Okay, means while exercising the function of directing, a manager is supposed to instruct, guide and observe the work of his subordinates, right? To ensure whether they are working as per the plan or not and to help them out if they are facing any kind of problem or difficulty. Understood the point? Now, if we want to know more about supervision, then supervision can be understood in two ways. Okay, one, as an element of directing. As I told you that there are four elements of directing: supervision, motivation, leadership and communication. One aspect to see and understand the supervision is what? As an element of directing. And another aspect is what? That you have learned so far in chapter number 1, nature and significance of management, while I was teaching you lower level management function. Okay, lower level manager had one more name, that was supervisor, right? So one, we can see it as an element of directing, and another way we can see it as a function performed by a supervisor, right? So let's understand it in these two ways. So as an element of directing, see, we need to understand that all levels of management need to perform this function, okay? Because it is a part of directing, and directing is the function of management which has to be exercised by all level of management that we have already learned, right? Whether it is top level management or middle level management or lower level management, right? They all have to perform the function of supervision as well as the motivation, leadership, communication, right? Okay, so if we see in that sense, the same definition works because we are learning the directing chapter, so the same definition is there. Okay, supervision means to instruct, guide and observe the subordinates at work to ensure that whether they are working as per plan or not. Okay, and if they are facing any kind of difficulty, just to help them out. Alright, now let's understand this. Already you have understood it. I would like to just remind you. Okay, see, we know very well there is the lower level management, right? Which is also known as supervisory level. So as many functions a supervisor is supposed to do, these all functions are known as supervision here, right? Whether he represents the grievances of the workers, okay, or he ensures safety of the workers, or he oversees the work, okay, observe the work, solves their problem, right? Because the supervisor is the lower level management and he is the only one who remains in the direct touch of the workers, right? Okay, he knows pretty well how the things are happening on the ground level and what are the problems, okay? So that is why his role becomes important. So already we have learned it, that's why I am not repeating it, okay? But we need to see supervision from two aspects, that's necessary. So understand it, okay? one more thing, let me tell you. We need to understand the functions of supervisor, right? But as you have already understood the functions of lower level manager, more or less these are same, and maybe possible just because of that 2 years back CBSE deleted this portion. Okay, I'm just having discussion on the functions of supervisor in very brief manner. Okay, so functions of supervisor. He has interpersonal contact with workers, means he remains in direct touch with the workers. Okay, so he shares formal, informal discussions with them, right? Link between workers and management. Okay, if we see from the top level and middle level manager side, then he is the only link between managers and workers. Okay, so he works in both ways, from top to bottom and from bottom to top. Okay, promotes group activity. Okay, because he has to handle the group of workers, so that is why he promotes the group activity. Okay, another, ensures performance of work. Okay, he has to see whether the work is being done in effective manner or not. Okay, so efficiency as well as the effectiveness he has to ensure in the work. Provides training to employees. If it is required to train some employee, then he provides training so that the employee may function in a proper way. Influence workers. He influences workers in the matter of his behavior, his dealing, his counseling, his entire supervision job. Okay. Provides feedback. He provides feedback to the middle level and top level management about the performance and grievances, etc. of the workers. Alright. So these all are the functions of a supervisor. Okay. Already you have learned these in the chapter number 1 as the functions of lower level management. Okay. Now let's move on to the second portion of today's session, that is what? Motivation. So, motivation. Motivation is what? An inner psychological force, right? Which activates motives and compels a person to behave in a desired manner. Let's understand. Motivation is nothing but a kind of inner psychological force. Okay, means you cannot see it, you need to just feel it and observe it, because it is a kind of psychological force. Okay, which activates motives. What are the motives? We'll understand a little while. And compels a person to behave in a desired manner. Right? When a person gets motivation, then he gets activated to complete a desired task, right? So, in the context of motivation, 3 words become important to be discussed, which are motive, motivation and motivator. Or you can raise the question, what is the difference among them? Okay, so motive is what? A kind of inner state, or you can say a desire, inner desire, right? Everybody has some motive. Okay, I'm not talking about the employee. You can see the common people around you, as many people are living their life, or you can see yourself, you must be having some motive in your life, and throughout the whole life the person remains active to complete that motive, right? But sometimes what happens, due to various factors, a person becomes less confident, okay, or he forgets his motive. So time and again there is a need to activate that motive, okay, and that is done through motivation. Okay, so motivation is a kind of process to stimulate, okay, or you can say it is a kind of process to activate the motive so that the person may work in the desired manner. Okay, this already I have written here. Now let's talk about this term, motivator. What is motivator? So often people understand that motivator is a person who motivates. Not at all. He can be a motivating person. Motivator is a kind of technique here, right? Motivator is a technique used to motivate a person. Okay, a manager may have to use diverse motivators or various kinds of techniques to motivate different kinds of people. Okay, Like somebody gets motivated when he gets hike in his salary. Somebody gets motivated when his work is appreciated. Somebody needs to be punished so that he may not commit the undesired activity again and again. Right? So in that way, the motivators are designed and are given to the particular people as per the requirement. Okay, so motivators are what? Techniques used to motivate the employees by the managers. Understood the point? We will have detailed discussion about the motivators in the further video. Okay, right now we are just talking about the motivation. Okay, so now with the help of all this, we can frame the definition of motivation. However, in the previous video already I have discussed with you. Even then I am writing here. One more time, let's have a discussion about it. Okay, motivation refers to a process of stimulating and inspiring people at work to accomplish desired goals. Stimulating means activity. Okay, like I told you that everybody has motive, but due to various factors in the life, okay, so often the people get disappointment and they have to experience failure. Just because of that, people become demotivated or they ignore their actual motive of the life, right? So that motive has to be activated with the process of motivation. And what is a motivation? Already we have discussed. It is a kind of psychological force. Okay, so as per the definition, let's understand it. Motivation is a process of activating or stimulating and inspiring people at work to accomplish desired goals. Why a manager motivates his employees? So that the desired goals can be accomplished, right? So time to time manager is supposed to provide motivation, and for that different kind of techniques are used. Okay, we'll be having discussion about these techniques later on, which are known as motivators, right? Now let's move on towards the process of motivation, how it works. See, for understanding the process of motivation, very first we need to understand something. See, every manager is responsible to get the work done by his subordinates, right? Be it top level manager, middle level manager or lower level manager. Okay, they all need to get work done by their subordinates, right? So, just to discharge this responsibility, they need to find out how they can make a person do the job. Okay, how they can come to know what is the thing just to get that a person can work. Okay, and they need to think over this as well, why the person is not willing to perform. However, he is capable to perform, he is having the ability. What is the thing that is stopping him, right? Or what is the thing I am missing, which I am not keeping in front of him. Okay, he has to see that how can I make him on the track so that the desired goals are achieved, right? So, for knowing the answers to all these questions, the manager has to understand the process of motivation. If he understands the process of motivation, then according to that, he can provide the particular motivators to particular people and his desired goal will be achieved, right? I just give you a little example for that. Okay, you must have seen in your childhood, just to get few things done by you, your parents would give you some motivators. Okay, like if you score good marks, then we will get you watch, video game, etc. Okay, so just to get that prize, you used to work hard, right? So your parents understood this process. Okay, they knew that how you can be motivated. But it is easy for the parents to know about it because after all they are parents of their child. But in an organization it becomes a difficult task to recognize it, to understand it. Why? Because in an organization, the people from diverse areas are working. They are having diverse needs, they are having different behaviors, different expectations, okay, they are having different skills, okay, so it becomes a typical task to understand that how a particular person can be motivated. But for the same as well, the manager is supposed to know the process of motivation. Okay, if he understands the process of motivation with each employee, then he can easily motivate him or her, right? So what is the process of motivation? Let's have a look. See, there are few boxes. Actually, these are few steps. How the motivation works. Okay, it works itself, right? Unsatisfied needs. It is often said that why we are living the life, why we are making efforts. We are living the life and we are making efforts to satisfy our some needs which are unsatisfied. Means whenever a person has unsatisfied needs, only then he may work to satisfy them. Otherwise no. You must not be understanding in that way, but if I give you an appropriate example, you will understand it better. In a little while I will give you. Okay. See, first step is what? Unsatisfied needs. A person has needs which is not satisfied. So just to satisfy, what happens? He gets tension because his needs are unsatisfied. Just because of tension, a kind of drive is developed. Means now he starts thinking, I need to do something because he is being tensed. Now he starts making efforts. Okay, he starts making attempts to satisfy needs. Okay, and while making several attempts, one attempt is successful and then his needs are satisfied and consequently his tension is reduced, right? So when first the person has unsatisfied needs, then the tension arises which gives rise to drive, and the drive pokes a person to such behavior, and by doing that he may satisfy his needs, and whenever his needs are satisfied, his tensions are reduced, right? How it works, I just give you one example for that. Let's assume there is a day when your parents are not there at home. Imagine. Okay, and you feel hungry and you do not know how to cook, right? Okay, you're waiting for your parents to come. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. They did not come. Now your hunger is increasing. Okay, because your hunger is what? Unsatisfied needs. Until unless you satisfy your hunger, it is not going to leave you, right? So you need to satisfy it. Now you feel hungry in the deadliest manner. Okay, now the tension is there in your mind. Earlier you were avoiding it, but now again it is coming. Your stomach is craving. Okay, now you are being tensed. What to do, right? Now this tension will give rise to some drive. Now you would like to do something. Now you will think what to do. Earlier you were avoiding, now the tension is there. Okay, now you are thinking what to do. Now you have made up your mind that I have to just satisfy my hunger. Okay, so in this mode the person is ready to move on. Fine. Now you start doing this search behavior. What is the search behavior? Means now you will try all the attempts to satisfy your hunger. Okay, very first you went to the fridge to see whether anything is kept there or not, but unfortunately nothing was there. Okay, then you saw the cupboard, unfortunately nothing was there. Okay, then you went to the kitchen, maybe possible you get something. Okay, and after searching a lot here and there, you found a packet of Maggi noodles, right? Now your attempt is successful. Okay, now what you will do? You will prepare Maggi and then you will have Maggi, and after having Maggi, what will happen? Your needs will be satisfied. So as you are eating noodles, in the meanwhile your tension is being reduced, right? So in that way it goes on. Okay, I just give you the example of hunger. It can be related to anything. If I need a car, that is what the unsatisfied need of mine. Because I need it, I face difficulties. Okay, my job is having such kind of nature in which car is must. Okay, so in that case, what will happen? That will give me the tension. Okay, and that tension will poke me to do something, to think about it, to make up my mind. Now I have made my mind, now I will do the search behavior point. Okay, I'll make the attempts, I'll look for the options, how the car can be arranged to me. Okay, what are the possibilities, whether I need to buy a new car or second hand one, and if the second hand one, how it will be arranged with new one, then which one, what is my budget, how I'm going to pay the EMIs, etc. Everything I'll have to do, right? Okay, I'll go to some showrooms as well if I'm going to buy a new car, or if I'm going to buy a second hand car, then I'll be meeting few people who are ready to sell their used car. Okay, so this is what is search behavior. After doing this process, maybe possible one attempt is successful, and then my needs will be satisfied, and consequently my pension will be reduced. Okay, so it can happen in the organization. Okay, now the manager has to understand what is the unsatisfied need of the particular person. If he understands this, okay, then nothing more he has to do. He has to keep it here. Means he knows very well the person is willing to buy a house, and if I want to get work done by him, if I want a heavy target to be achieved by him, then I'll have to give a promise to provide him house. Okay, then you see the person will try his level best to achieve that target, because that is his unsatisfied needs. Okay, but you know very well it's not possible for every employer to provide everything to the employee. So keeping the limitation, the motivation is supposed to be provided. Understood the point? So this was about the process of motivation, how it works. Now let's move on towards the features of motivation. So features of motivation, we can call them features, characteristics, or we can call them nature of motivation. You have to be focused here, because the question in the exam can be asked in either ways, right? Okay, what are the features? Motivation is an internal feeling. Motivation produces goal-directed behavior. Motivation is a complex process, and motivation can be either positive or negative. So just to remember these all features all together for a longer time, you know very well what is going to come from my side. I have already left the space empty there. A code is going to come from my side. So the code is very simple kind of code I have prepared. Internal goals complicate positivity. Try and understand there is an employee in the organization, and there are some kind of goals of the organization provided to him internally. Okay, but the people are just driving him crazy. Okay, somebody is saying that do like this, somebody is saying do like this, he's getting confused, he's being complicated, and just because of that, whatever positivity was there in his mind, that is being disturbed, right? So imagine a kind of situation. The code is internal goals complicate positivity. Okay. How it works? This internal is there for internal feeling. This goals is there for goal-directed behavior. This complicate is there for complex process, and this positivity is there for positive or negative, right? Internal goals complicate positivity. Okay. Now let's understand all these features one by one. Very first, let's have a discussion about this. Motivation is an internal feeling. Yes, already I have explained you. Motive is an inner state. Okay. So why this point is important here? See, if a manager sees that a particular person is not working happily, okay, and he is not utilizing his whole capacity, and just because of that he is not able to get the target or hit the target in time. Now manager is trying his level best to motivate him, okay, but it does not work. Why? Because motivation is an internal feeling. Okay, a person can be motivated, and this feeling cannot be forced. Okay, feelings like needs, drives, urges. Okay, these somewhere influence the behavior of a people. They poke him to work. These influence the people to behave in a particular manner, right? So, what the manager is supposed to do, instead of forcing him to work or using his all skills to get the work done by him, he must try his level best to know what is the unsatisfied needs of that particular person. What is his desire? What is his urge? What is his drive? Okay, so when the manager knows that the particular person is having that particular kind of urge, only then the manager can motivate it, right? Otherwise, a person cannot be forcibly motivated. Understood? It's like that. If I ask a person to be happy, he cannot be happy. I cannot make him happy forcibly. He can be happy only when he wants. Only when what he wants is done. Right? Only in that way he'll be happy. Otherwise, he is not going to get happy. Understood the point? So that is what the feature of motivation. Motivation is an internal feeling, right? Now let's talk about the second feature. Motivation produces goal-directed behavior. So every employee working in the organization is having his own goals or desire, right? Okay, we see that there are few people who are self-motivated. Means there is no need to motivate them from the side of the manager and supervisor. Okay, they just keep on working on their own and they achieve the target as well. Why? Because their behavior has become goal directed. Okay, whatever goal they have set or are willing to achieve, that is deriving their behavior. Okay, they are being driven just due to that goal. That goal is providing them motivation. They do not need motivation from anybody else's side, right? So we can say that motivation produces goal-directed behavior, right? Okay, if a person is having goal, then definitely he can behave in the desired manner. He can try his level to achieve that. And why a person is willing to achieve that goal? Due to the motivation, right? You can take this in that manner as well. Say for example, the person is not self-motivated, right? Okay, he can be motivated by the manager. The manager has understood his unsatisfied needs. Now the manager has promised him to provide that. Okay, he has got the goal to achieve that particular thing. Okay, and just because of that, he will try his level best to complete the target. Okay, so in that way also we can say that motivation produces goal-directed behavior. Understood the point? Now let's move on to the another feature. Motivation is a complex process. Yes, it is. See, as I told you in the beginning, in an organization, people of diverse group are working. They come from different backgrounds, they have different expectations, aspirations, needs, goals, okay, career options, etc. Now, with the same kind of technique, a manager cannot motivate all kinds of people because they are heterogeneous kind of people. They are not having the same nature and same taste and same needs. Okay, somebody needs something and somebody needs something else, right? Okay, somebody needs appreciation, recognition. He feels really happy when a crowd claps for him. Okay, and somebody wants money only. He wants more and more money. For that, he is ready to work even for 10 hours, 15 hours. He doesn't mind. Okay, so the manager has to understand that which person will be motivated by what method, right? And it is a complex task. Okay, a uniform method of motivation cannot be applied with all the members. If he does so, then definitely his plan is going to fail. Okay, why? Because motivation is a complex process. It's not so easy to understand, and it's not like that a manager can directly ask a person. He has to observe the behavior, he has to inquire about him through different sources, he has to know about his family, he has to know about his dreams, etc. He has to do it on his own level, and if he does so, then in indirect way as well, the manager can get the work done by him, right? But particularly and individually, the manager has to do this job. The same method, same technique, same motivator, or same incentive is not going to work for all the members of the organization. Understood the point? Now let's move towards the last point of feature. What is that? Motivation can be either positive or negative. Yes, motivation can be there in two forms, positive and negative. Now you must be thinking, how negative motivation? Because whenever we listen about the motivation, only the positivity comes in our mind. The negative motivation is also there for the positivity. How? I explain. Okay, see, a manager is supposed to use either form of motivation, whether it is positive or negative, as per the requirement. Positive motivation is what? It includes like increase in salary, providing bonus and other facilities, okay, or giving appreciation letter, giving reward, okay, giving recognition, promotion, etc. These all come under positive motivation. And why this is given, just be focused here what I am going to say. This is given to increase the desired behavior. Why the salary is hiked of a person? Because he has achieved some target. Why he is being promoted? Because he has achieved some target. Okay, why the person is being rewarded? Because he has done something really great. Okay, so this is what the desired behavior. So just to increase the desired behavior, the positive motivation and the techniques of positive motivation are used. Understood the point? Now let's talk about the negative motivation, how it works in the positive manner. Okay, negative motivation is used to reduce or decrease the undesired behavior. Okay, and it includes like deduction in the salary, punishment, penalty, okay, threat of demotion, etc. Say for example, a person is in the habit of coming late every day. Sometimes he gets late by 10 minutes and sometimes he gets late by half an hour and sometimes he gets late even by 1 hour. Now, the manager has noticed it and this is what the undesired behavior. Okay, the manager does not want anybody to come late because if one person comes, he influences the others as well. Okay, so in that way the discipline of the organization will go on way, right? So in that way, this is the undesired behavior, manager wants to stop it. So in that case, what he says to him, if you come late for 3 days, then your half day's salary will be deducted. So this is a kind of penalty, punishment. Okay, now he knows very well that if he gets late, his salary will be deducted, he will not get late. So his undesired behavior will be reduced by using the negative motivation. Understood the point? So negative motivation is also used to motivate a person in a positive manner. Okay, one more time I explain you. Positive motivation is used to increase the desired behavior and negative motivation is used to reduce the undesired behavior. Understood the point? As per the requirement, the manager is supposed to use either of these. Okay. So friends, it was all about the features or characteristics or nature of motivation. So it's time to end this session. Today we discussed about the supervision and motivation. Very soon I am going to meet you in the another video taking the topic further. Till then, thank you. Bye bye.